today about their situation. You mentioned up in Chicago that you think it's the deepest for receivers since you've been here. Can you elaborate on that a little bit in terms of what you saw in the summer with the newcomers added in and stuff?
Yeah, absolutely. First of all, I mean, these freshmen that are coming in are unbelievably talented. Obviously, they're still swimming a little bit, trying to learn the plays, and but ultimately, I mean, like I said, there's a lot of talent, and they're very hungry and they're very willing to be coached, which is very refreshing and very nice to see. So they're definitely pushing the older guys, but the older guys are really kind of raising the bar at the same time. So it's going to be interesting to see how it plays out.
Nate, you've been on several award watch lists, most recently the AMCA Good Works team. What do all these watch lists mean to you?
I mean, it feels good to be on some watch lists, but also, I understand that it doesn't really mean anything. And again, all these watch lists are kind of just a reflection of the team because really as a quarterback, I've said before, you're only as good as the guys around you. I mean, no matter what watch list it is. So, I understand that they don't mean much. It's nice to get a little bit of recognition for the team, but I know that we have to really come out to play to get some of these accolades and stuff, but we're really going for team awards.
Hey, do you think this should be a bowl team?
Absolutely. I feel like in the last few years we should have been that level, but I don't think by any means that's our ceiling. I think to say a bowl team is really kind of setting ourselves short because I think this team has a very high ceiling, and I'd be disappointed with just that many wins. So we're really pushing to get a lot more than that.
Why is it a bowl team? We haven't seen one since 2007.
Mm-hmm.
What do you see that makes you feel that way?
Well, first of all, I think our seniors have 100% buy-in, which I don't know if I could fully say in years before. And Coach has just been really kind of talking to us leaders, us senior leaders especially, that it's our team, not his team. So he's kind of, managing us, but we're leading the team. And I think that's definitely different than years past. He doesn't have to set the tone nearly as much as he had before. We got guys like Anthony Cassar running around there, getting guys fired up. And, the O-line setting a high standard with Feeney and Spriggs. And defensively, guys really, TJ and Tigray really setting the tone, those linebackers. And, across the board, Dutra. So I think, first of all, we're working hard, but we've always worked hard. But again, Coach always says, and it's so true, we're working with a purpose. We know what we're aiming for, and we have good leaders to do it. So I think the leadership is definitely going to take us that next step.
And how important is that senior leadership on the offensive line in front of you? Obviously, a huge component to your background.
Yeah, it's huge. I couldn't be more happy with the older guys we have especially, but our whole O-line. And we've really set a standard on the O-line, especially that these young freshmen, if they don't play up to the standard that Feeney, Spriggs, Jake Reed are playing at, and Ralston before he ended, but if they don't play at the level that they've set the tone for, set the standard for, they're held accountable, and it's not acceptable, which is very good to see. And the rest of the team, we need to really follow that template because the way the O-line's been doing it starts with Coach Wilson and Coach Fry. They've really set a high standard, and they've really been the core of our success on offense the last few years. So.
To kind of go along with that, how important has it been for a place like Indiana to build that foundation up front where, you see, the heavyweights of this conference, year in, year out can kind of reload, and they're kind of known for, the bodies up front. How important has it been for this program to kind of build that foundation up front?
It's been huge. Especially the Big Ten, it's a very much up-front league. It's a in-the-trenches league. And even though we like to spread it around and pass the ball around and, get the ball in space, you have to win, with a good O-line, D-line, with good fronts, because that really sets the tone of the game. You can control the game. You can really kind of take the will out of people when guys are smashing people up. So it's really fun to see those guys really, set the tone, and we definitely understand the importance, and that's what Coach Wilson's really been stressing and done a great job recruiting those guys and developing them.
How important is that group right now? You talked about there's some things to work out at right receiver, at tight end, maybe even a little bit at running back. How important is it to just kind of have that baseline that you can rely on the O-line? You just kind of don't have to worry about that.
Oh, it's huge because, again, as a quarterback, you can't do anything if you don't have time to throw the ball. And, receivers are not going to get any touches when you can't, protect for a little bit, and running backs aren't going to run very much without a hole. So, it's really the foundation, the base of everything. If the O-line's really clicking well, think we're going to have success in another aspect of the game. So, I mean, it's really what Coach Wilson's emphasized. It's great O-line play, and they've answered that call, and they're doing extraordinary.
You feel like your shoulder's back to 100%?
Oh yeah, feeling great. It's been a long recovery. Been very patient, but Craig, our athletic trainer, and those guys have done an unbelievable job. And days when you're kind of a little frustrated, wish you were 100%, and not yet, but they've really pushed me, and I'm feeling great right now, and thrilled to be out there and weighing a lot more, so feeling good.
At what point in the summer or whatever did you really feel like you were back to that 100%?
Well, starting spring ball, I felt pretty good. Still had a little bit of issues with it, but I mean, so I don't know if I could have quite played a game quite yet during spring ball, just taking some hits. But probably around June, I was really feeling good and practicing with Craig where he'd hit me with a bag on the shoulder and things like that, and I realized I was feeling really good, and so I could have played a game quite a while ago. But so yeah, I'd say probably somewhere in June.
Man, what was it like to speak on behalf of Big Ten players up in Chicago? What was that experience like? What was the reaction to your speech? And if you could summarize for those who weren't there, what was the main thing you were trying to get across?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was a big honor. I was thrilled to be given the opportunity, and a little bit surprised to be given the opportunity. But so I felt responsible to put all I had into the speech and prepare as well as I could. So I didn't take the opportunity lightly. I definitely spent a lot of time on it, working on it, writing it, rewriting it, editing it, all things like that. But I mean, the feedback I got I was very, very humbled and proud of, and happy about what people were saying. Just shaking hands afterwards, people really from other teams and other coaches and other fans or alumni or whatever were very generous with their time and shaking my hand. So that meant a lot. But yeah, the kind of the core things I wanted to get across were, first of all, that I said the word stand on the shoulders of people who've come before us, and talking to our team the other day, they watched it in the team meeting, and a little embarrassing, but kind of recapping after that, just telling the O-line, like, I'm really thinking of them when I say I'm standing on their shoulders, because they're not guys who get a lot of credit. When a touchdown happens, they give the credit to the quarterback or the running back or the receivers, but those are the kind of guys who don't get recognized as much. But I understand that I would not be up here right now or be up giving that speech without those guys. And so really thinking of those guys. And then also kind of the perspective I've gained through the experiences I've had, as well as understanding or appreciating those experiences, and appreciating the opportunities I have, and very much feeling the responsibility to make the most of what I've been given.
How much better are you at reading defenses, and how much better do you need to get in order to have the kind of year you want to have?
I feel like I'm getting pretty decent there. I see the field pretty well. I mean, Coach Johns and Coach Wilson have done a great job challenging me, because I've been able to read defenses decently for years past, but I'm getting a lot better at understanding protections and knowing where my blitzes are, where my hots are. I mean, kind of just keying the safeties. I've been able to do that for a little bit, but there's always a look you haven't seen. So I've been really trying to push myself, playing the what-if game, like what if he does this, he does this. So things like that. But I definitely think I can always improve. Coach always says, if you think you got it, you're about to get it. You're about to get, kicked in the behind. So you really got to understand that, you haven't arrived. I mean, and being with Peyton Manning, just kind of talking to him, he still spends an unbelievable amount of time watching film on himself and on defenses, because people can get very crazy with their looks, and he understands, first of all, if his footwork is right, he can make accurate throws, and he has to be able to he loves going. Peyton said every single play he'd go up to the field, and he 99% of the time was like, okay, I've seen this look before, and then he knew what to do, exactly what to do. So that was really cool to see, going into your 18th year and you're still working on things I'm working on. So understanding I still have a lot of work to do.
You guys want to snap the ball quickly. So how much time do you have to read the defense? You get out there, you're looking, boom. What do you need, 2 or 3 seconds? 5 seconds?
Yeah, well, sometimes when we go tempo, I kind of just key one guy. Just first of all, I make sure my guys are lined up, and then it's just kind of a simple read. But when we go through our normal snap count cadence and everything, first of all, I get the defense set, kind of stand there and get in my position, and then first of all, make sure guys know what they're doing, and then kind of key my safeties, and then I don't really look at corners too much because they can lie a lot, but then just kind of key my linebackers. I mean, there's a whole process going through. It's kind of a checklist as you go pre-play, but you get faster and faster, probably a few seconds, sometimes less, sometimes more.
The Cuban Center, Mark Cuban Center is going to bring a lot of technology. You're talking about reading the field, and they have technology that gives you a 360 look. Have you had any of that yet?
When they had Cuban come through, I got to try it out for the first time, and that was incredible. I mean, you put goggles on, and you turn all the way around, and it's like you're in the stadium. So, we're still working with that, and I think it could be, an unbelievable resource to have, and I think it could really take players' game to the next level, just kind of without strapping the pads on, kind of getting that full game simulation. So I'm excited about the possibilities with that.
You got time for two more. Darius was saying before that he didn't feel like in the past that guys bought completely in that they are now. What made you think in the past that they weren't completely buying in? And what makes you think that now they are?
That's an interesting question. I think first of all, just in years past, there wasn't a level of trust just kind of coming in, and I think beforehand, guys weren't recruited by this coaching staff, so that, I don't know if they felt loyalty or I don't know. But then also, I just think as far as buying in, I think some guys just kind of worry about themselves a little bit too much. And Coach Wilson, obviously in my years past, I kind of was in a competition and, fully bought in, but kind of guys worry about things too much that don't matter, that they can't control. And they need to just, come every day and, first of all, understand we're all working for the same goal, and Coach is just trying to win, and he's trying to do, what's best for the team. So, and I think guys, again, with the leadership we have of the guys on the team, guys understand that, we're all going for the same goal, but at the same time, if you want to be the best player on the team, it's going to be because either you're not working hard enough, you're not fully bought in enough, and there's a selflessness now instead of guys being selfish. But not that we were bad at that before, it's just unbelievably good right now with the guys we have.
In terms of a leadership perspective, how much of that has shaped you going overseas in your humanitarian trips?
In terms of the leadership, well, it's been a fine line because I've said before, I didn't really want to come back and be that guy who was saying, if I'd see a guy, complaining about going to class and get on their case like, you guys have no idea. I never wanted to be that guy because, you can say that all you want, but unless you've experienced it, it's kind of impossible to have people understand that. But at the same time, kind of having that perspective, guys see the excitement I have to be here every day and the joy I have in doing what I do and watching the extra film and going out to practice, getting the ball in my hand and throwing it around. So I think guys have seen that and also that I care about them. And I just think it's given me a good perspective that's kind of rubbed off on the guys a little bit that, I'm just happy to be here. And, I don't know if it's done that much for them, but I think it's helped me a lot and kind of given me a better – or let them kind of, see some change in me.